Hi everybody, welcome back to Ultramatic Lane. Today's video is going to be on body maintenance and how I manage to keep my body going whenever training volume is high and a lot of inflammation and tightness, stiffness, things in the body is going on. A few things that I do regularly is stretch the hamstring, stretch the glutes, stretch all the usual stuff. There's a few other things whenever stretching's just not quite getting it that I actually do to try and just keep that body moving. And there's a few tools that go along with it. Your physios, your chiropractors are all great methods. Your masseuse are all great methods to keep going and it helps your body. What I have found, and one of the best pieces of advice is I was given many years ago whenever I first started endurance sports, and the Ironman triathlon was by an elderly triathlete, very experienced guy, done quite well in races, and the best advice he gave me was to learn to know your body. That's something that I've been developing over the last 15 years or so. Now, a lot of these methods I have just kind of worked out myself. A few of them I'll taken from different chiropractors and different physios over the years. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a physio, I'm not a chiropractor, I've got no medical training whatsoever. I find for me these work, these have worked over the years, and there's things that I do week in, week out, especially whenever I have a big race coming up and the training volume's high. Spiky ball, quite often I'll just sit with spiky ball, leg in under it, move my feet, move my legs so that it is getting in there, and I'll spend hours just sitting on this little spiky ball trying to loosen up and release some of the tension in the muscle. The other ball, we're all about the balls here, is a golf ball on the ground, rolling around the feet, getting into the little muscles on your feet, better on the ground, not on the seat, and just spend hours releasing it, and you'll feel little knots, little grit in your feet, and it'll be quite sore. They're the areas that you want to continue to work on. If it's sore, that's probably the area that needs to be released. Golf ball, another essential tool. Spoon, it used to be the spoon, now it moved into the cap. This is one of the techniques that I have found really has helped release the muscles, and it's a lot of scar tissue and a lot of knots and tightness in the legs, and I'll just go through how I kind of do it. For me, my knee kind of goes offline quite a bit, and I've had some cartilage damage in my knee in the past. But what I find is that if my quad, my IT band is tight, that pulls everything out of whack and starts mistracking, and everything kind of leads on. So what I do is good old sun cream, massage oil or anything like that will work. Whack it on, and today's a good day to be doing this because of the 50k I run last night, so everything is quite nutty and tight. And it's really simple method for short selling. Spoon, as I say in the old day, and it's really just the sharp edge of the spoon, the flat edge, that'll do it. And I'm not sure if you can hear it, but you can actually hear the grit. And what you'll see after a very short period of time is that, and while you're doing it, some areas will feel a lot tighter and a lot more grittier than others, and they're the areas that I tend to focus in, so I give it a one over just to find out where the tight areas are, and depending on what the training load's at, different areas will be different days. Again, down through the quad, and just here I can feel a little bit of tightness, so I'll work on that area a little bit more. And I'll do this kind of before I get into bed, whenever I get up in the morning. There's no real set times, just whenever I feel things are getting tight. and again down through that IT, where the IT and the kind of hamstring at the back meet. And what you can see is basically all that's happening, my take on it, no doctor speak, is that it's going through in the fascia below the muscle. It's just kind of scraping out any of the knots and anything that's tied up on that. You can also see that the blood circulation is starting to quickly develop with that red. So every cell and everything inside the muscle is starting to fire. All the blood circulating around it. So it's a bit like, I suppose, acupuncture. I came across it quite some time ago whenever my chiropractor was working on my Achilles. It was very sore, very tight. He scraped it out. And I was like, well, if it worked for my Achilles, what other things will it work for? And as I say, if that plane wasn't flying over, you'd be hearing the deep scratching and the grit. Once you do it, you'll feel it. Now, it turns out that you're too much for using spoons. Little multivitamin bottle, flat edge on the cap, the exact same thing. And I found it actually a little bit better than the spoon this last while. Both work really well. Anything with a flat edge will work. And really just get in. Quite often what will happen is that tight area that you have will come up, because you've been working on it, will come up and it'll actually bruise. But you come back in a day or so, you run out over that same area and the grit and the grind isn't there anymore. So as I say, I found it has worked really well for me. People that are regular to the channels will know 6 weeks ago I was having knee issues, and I'll have knee issues to the end of time now, but certainly it was affecting my running a few weeks ago. And just in around this area here is where everything was kind of all caught up, tightened up. So for every day, for about 2 weeks, I would spend time going through like this, rubbing it out until it felt nothing there. And it's no coincidence at the same time that's whenever my knee pain started to fade. So look, whether it's tight calves, the exact same thing applies. Down through shin splints, down through whatever the area is in the body that you can reach, it's certainly gonna help. Hamstrings, things like that, a lot tighter to do. You might find that you have to kind of stand down through the hamstring, down through the back of the knee, come up with different ways. And back to that piece of advice that I got very early days: get to know your body, get to know the areas that are tight, and before you jump into it, if you really want. And after it, what I usually do is just give it a nice gentle massage once it's, I usually do it before, nice gentle massage, and then after it a nice gentle massage. Again, you'll feel any of the tight gritty bits, any of the knots, any sore tender spots is what you're looking for. And then the other areas that you concentrate on. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Hopefully, as usual, you have got something from this video, and hopefully you don't need to use it too much and your body is in perfect working order.